What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, with the recent, news stories about the Patrick Williams and the Torrey Craig situations, both of them suffering injuries that could lead them out for a significant period of time, we have to now ask the question about what the Chicago Bulls can do to hopefully try to bring some size into the equation. Now, at the end of the day, there's multiple ways we can discuss this, but I think the key thing that we're going to be talking about today is the big man lineup. If you don't know what the big man lineup is for the Chicago Bulls, I'm talking about playing Andre Drummond and Nikola Vucevic together in the starting five. Is that a foreseeable and a good option to go down in the future? Well, we're just going to have to wait and see, but I want to give my 2 cents on the situation in this video. Before we get any further, if you like the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls and whether or not you believe that the Bulls should go down the route in bringing these two big men to start together for multiple games at a time. Instead of a lineup, where we go to it on occasion, can this be something we can go to frequently and often and more often than not? These are the questions we need to start asking ourselves, because unfortunately with the Patrick Williams injury and with the Torrey Craig injury, our size has dramatically decreased, and unfortunately because of that, we already saw it a little bit with the Celtics game. Now the Celtics have elite forwards and we simply do not, but the guard to forward ratio is just absolutely miles ahead for Boston, as they ended up taking advantage of a lot of the mismatches because we had to play guards on them. We didn't have Patrick Williams to guard a Jaylen Brown or a Jason Tatum. We didn't have, a Torrey Craig to bring his physicality into the fray and stuff of that nature. So these are the things we got to be aware of. This might not be, a problem for every game, but for some games it will be a problem. Now, I wanted to quickly, before we go talk about Andre Drummond and Nikola Vucevic, talk about some other options we can do, which is obviously the first one is to buy, to pursue the buyout market. I think that's the first option we need to talk about. Now, whether or not we actually do make a buyout or not, I have no idea. I've heard so many different things from so many different people. I'm not in the know or anything like that, but when you look at social media, you're looking at all the buyout options that the Bulls can pursue, and I think there's some good options out there that could potentially help solve our problem with our heights. We can sign power forwards, we can sign small forwards, we can pursue these guys that can bring some physicality into the team and make a difference. So that's one thing I want to take into situation here. We can still pursue a buyout option. I've also heard on the other side of the spectrum that because of the money that we have, how much money we have left, we might not be able to pursue a buyout option because, we're getting close to the luxury tax. And also, Kobe White's contract, I think, plays a factor in this as well. Considering he's on an incentives-based contract, it's very clear with the way that he's been playing recently, he has probably met a lot of those criteria. He's met a lot of those incentives, and therefore he's getting paid more money than an $11 million per season. Is that going to be a stumbling block for the Bulls? I don't know all the financial rules out there. I sincerely don't. But these are things we have to start considering whether or not we're actually even going to pursue a buyout that actually helps us. I really don't know what avenue it's going to go down. But with that being said, now let's talk about that big man lineup. So, we saw it a little bit in the last game against Boston. We've seen it against the Cavs. We've seen it against the Minnesota Timberwolves. We've seen it even against teams like Philadelphia, I believe, from time to time. Andre Drummond and Nikola Vucevic playing together. It's happening a little bit more frequently these days compared to previous days. Last season, we wouldn't dare do something like that unless it was absolutely necessary. This season, we're starting to see it a little bit more often. Now, why is that the case? Well, simply put, it brings us different dynamics in the post, and they do play well together. That is the best way to describe it. I don't think Andre Drummond takes anything away from Nikola Vucevic offensively, and vice versa. They both can rebound the ball. Drummond is very much dominant in the paint, and Vucevic can expand to the mid-range. So it does give us room to work in offensively. I think offensively, it actually doesn't hurt at all for the Chicago Bulls. Yes, Drummond does hold a little bit of the spacing issues there, especially when DeRozan plays, but with Vucevic being able to extend, enter the post on mismatches, and again, there's not a lot of teams that do play multi-centers in their team. That provides a lot of mismatches that we can take advantage of, and I think we did that in the first half against the Boston Celtics. It is as simple as that. But in saying that, as much as they play well together, I do tend to worry about what's to come. When you verse a team like Boston, when they're not playing Al Horford and Porzingis together, I can't see a world where Drummond and Vucevic will work on the other end of that. I really, really don't. And here's the reason why. How many times did you see, let alone, forget about the two-man lineup, how many times did you see Vucevic switch on to Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown and get cooked up in that last game against Boston? I'm pretty sure the vast majority of the game they took advantage of that matchup alone. And that's a problem for the Bulls, because at the end of the day, we don't have anyone that could really guard Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown. We can't really have anyone that guards forwards from that center position. Now, Andre Drummond, I think, is better at it. I think it's very clear. He gets very much tighter on defense. He's more mobile and he's more athletic. So these are the things we can work with on different occasions. But for the most part, when there's a forward lineup, a forward-heavy lineup out there, you just can't play those two guys together. Vucevic is too slow to guard the three-point line. He gets bit off the dribble way too easily. And Andre Drummond does get into foul trouble a lot. And again, he's not the best at guarding the perimeter either. He's better, but he's not the best. So there are certain ways where I can see it working. And we've seen it work from time to time, which is why we're relying on it a little bit more often. But also, we see it fail. And I think in today's game, we didn't see it that often in this game. But if we were to see it, it would have failed in my opinion. So again, multiple problems there with the big man lineup. But I guess the question is, will we start seeing this more often? And I think the answer is we're going to have to see this more often. Again, not having a forward sucks. It's as simple as that. I'm very happy with Julian Phillips' production. I'm very happy with Dalen Terry when he gets the opportunity to play. But these guys don't have a lot of experience. And when you're in a must-win situation, you do need a little bit of experience to carry you over the line sometimes. It's not always about the energizer, rookie type of guys that's going to make an impact. But that's, of course, very well needed off of our bench. But in the starting lineup, I think we do need to start seeing this a little bit more often. Especially when you see this team getting beaten badly off the glass. And rebounding wise, you're going to have to see this more often. But there are some games where we simply just need that veteran experience. And those two guys, whether they play well together or they don't play well together, in your eyes, are veterans. And at this point, I think what's going to hurt more is our bench production if you don't play Drummond in the starting, on the bench to be example. Our bench is very weak at the moment and you're going to make that worse. But at the same time, our starting lineup needs some size, and playing multi-guard systems and playing small lineups might not be the answer every single game. Now, I'm not saying we should play him every single game starting-wise. I am saying we're going to see it more often, and I think that is expected. But there's one more avenue I want to go down. There is a player that's in our G League team that did play 2 minutes for the Chicago Bulls in the last game that we could call upon to add some size. And his name is Batum, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I don't necessarily think he's NBA ready, in all honesty, but he's 6'6", and he can bring some size that we don't have at this point in time. So again, there's multiple ways we could go down. Yes, we could sign a buyout option. My goodness, we can do that. And I think that's the best way to go. We can see more of Vucevic and Drummond together. Some games it will work, some games it will fail. It's up to the coaching staff to decide which games it will work in and which games it will fail in. And just hope it works. Simple as that. Or we can call up some of our players that we have seen in the past that could maybe help make an impact. But Tim is the guy I'm looking at. He's a 6'6" guy. He can shoot the three ball well. I think he won't look out of place if he's not the primary guy. Maybe that could be an avenue we go down. Even Henry Drell, it could be a potential option for the Bulls in the future. Either way, there are options we have. Are these the best options? No. I think the best option is Patrick Williams recovers tomorrow. And that's it. We have some size again. But at the end of the day, these are the options that we have to deal with and take very seriously. So we'll wait and see what happens. That's going to be my video today. Thank you for watching. Drop a like and a follow and or subscribe if you are new. And I'll see you in the next Chicago Bulls related video. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care and peace.